What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PanelCast. Justin's over there doing the hand jive, or Richard, I guess, doing the hand jive. I'm used to Justin being over there.
I was getting into the song.
I'm replacing the long-haired, bearded guy with another long-haired, bearded guy. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the PanelCast. I'm your host, AJ. With me is that guy, whoever he is, replaced by Richard. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing great.
In this episode, we've decided to talk about some of the trailers that came out during the Super Bowl, having the Super Bowl weekend just passed. And then Richard and I have also wanted to discuss, I'm going to review Companion that I went and saw this weekend. And then we're going to discuss the first season 3, the first 3 episodes of Invincible, which came out this week as well. So we got a lot going on. And if you don't like any of those things, you can just listen to us because you're fans, or just have us in the background because we could use that hit count. So
we have
put us on mute and walk away.
Leave it playing.
For the next 248 hours.
Keep replaying it.
That's right. Exactly. Or at least like, share, and subscribe so someone else can keep us on mute in the background while they're doing something. So let's go ahead and get started. This today being Monday, the week of Valentine's Day. We just got through doing our live draw this past weekend, which was great. Richard, we missed you out on that one. We missed out on you.
Yeah, unfortunately, the circumstance. I had a very sad occasion I had to deal with.
You had to reach,
yeah, some personal issues, and that really is unfortunate. I really wanted to join. I had some ideas and stuff I wanted to go through, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Hopefully, you'll be able to make the next one, which is on March 15th, 1 to 4 p.m. We're doing the I can't think of the name yet, but it is a I had to put the warning out during the live draw in the last session, so I'm going to put the warning out in this one. The next one would be March 15th. It is indeed a St. Patrick's Day celebration, so we will be drinking and imbibing in many green things here on the show during the live broadcast. So if that is something that you're sensitive to and don't want to partake in, totally understand. Again, keep us on mute while it's streaming.
So like fornication with aliens?
No.
No, you said partaking in green things.
Yes, fornication with plants.
Oh, jeez. That's just weird.
It's Earth Day coming up in April. We have to give back to the planet. No, we'll be drinking many a green beer and drawing many a leprechauns during the live draw. So we invite you guys to tune in and join us in the festivities. That will be March 15th. We'll have the announcement coming out soon. Actually, we'll have the event put up soon. But in the meantime,
we're doing a collection of all the drawings, right?
Correct. We're going to be doing a collection of all the drawings that everybody, at least all the artists here, have been doing, and we're going to release them in a comic book here soon. We'll also
as a bonus, I'll still give you my drawing from the Valentine's Day one. Since I started it anyway.
That homework stacking up, because I remember you in school, brother. All your homework would still be at home. I don't want to hear the dog ate your homework.
It doesn't change. It stays on the board.
Yes, well, we will be releasing all the prints, not only individually on our store, but we will be releasing them collectively in a book. Come the end of the year. Each year, we'll collect them all and release them, the issue for that year. So if you are participating at home, even if you don't want to stream in with us, if you're just watching or whatever and drawing yourself at home, send us those submissions. Scan us, send a picture or whatever. We'll put them in the book as part of the drawing, as part of the live draw. So your art can be part of the book as well. Send it to AJ forbiddenpanel@gmail.com. I should put that up here so that you guys can see.
Mail.
Huh?
Mail.
Yeah, that too.
How is that pronounced? Is it mail or mail?
It's Gamil. Duh.
That's what
Um,
I
why don't,
figured.
why don't you talk to us about some of the shows you've been working on?
Well, right now, working with SKN, we have. I've been doing a lot with Toy Box Chronicles, and then but they have a show coming out on it's Bandito Radio, put out by Odd Frog. It's going to be available on pretty much every platform. I know it's going to be on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. I think it's also going to be on actual radio, like broadband radio. I'm not 100% sure on that. The launch is actually they're doing a live launch on Wednesday. Um, so they're going to do a launch for the radio station Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to be on that show. But I'll definitely be there in the chat and monitoring and stuff. But it's basically there. What it is if you remember what it was like playing GTA and how you could have the radio playing on the car.
Right.
Um, it's similar to
The
that
radio,
where they'll
yeah.
have it'll be a bunch of different stuff. Like there's different talk shows. Like there's comedy. There's independent artists that they have signed with this. They have what's called I know they have comedy, they have like mysteries and like how they used to do like radio drama kind of stuff,
Right.
as well as we're gonna have something that's completely toy centric talking. It's like a basically like a toy podcast, but a radio show, which is completely different than anything else we put out on SKN. And then also I have a show upcoming with Alexander called The Tribunal, which is it's not a live show. It's going to be a weekly show, but it's going to be pre-recorded and it's completely GI Joe centric. So we're going to talk pretty much all things Joe on that. We've been working on that, and yeah, just so much stuff going on,
Nice.
as well as getting prepared to bring back the customization classes as soon as who shall not be named makes an appearance.
Well, he's grounded right now. I believe he's in timeout.
Apparently.
He was busy this weekend. He came over. We're talking about Joel from Fictional Studios came over. He did participate in the live draw, so that was nice of him. Of course, I bribed him since I live, you know, like a mile
Yeah,
from him.
you're close to him.
He has to drive by my house to get to the freeway, so that's how I trap him into coming over. Put up a roadblock and a detour to my house. Well, it sounds like you're really busy, and I'm really excited to see a lot of stuff you got coming out. Again, like I was telling everybody else, people in FP are busy this year. We got a lot of stuff going on, and while it may not be all tied to FP, it's still nice to see some of the family members going out and branching off and still doing stuff.
Well, we also have other shows that are going to be coming out
I'm
soon
not
too.
talking about those, Richard. We're not releasing that information today.
Well, you said how many shows do I have? The shows that I have coming out.
That's because I want your spoilers. I'm not ready to give mine. No secrets there. But like we said, this today's Monday. This past weekend, we had not only the live draw, but we also had what had to be. And I have my own personal reasons, Richard. Well, we can talk about those. I want to get into those with you. But we had the Super Bowl this weekend, which for the first time in all of my 51 years of life, I did not watch. I had no interest in. I didn't care for, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah,
As
pretty much
this,
the
I didn't
same. I
wake
mean,
up.
I watched a little bit of it, kind of in the background, but it was definitely an uninteresting Super Bowl to me. Um, yeah, I didn't. I had no. I honestly, I don't I didn't care either way. Honestly, this entire I did this is the first. I mean, I've always been a huge football fan. My entire, you know, since I was probably about 3 years old. Football is, probably my, I don't know, maybe third favorite sport, second favorite sport. I don't know. It fluctuates. Boxing used to be my favorite sport, and then it kind of went to crap. Then it was basketball, and then I don't like all the rule changes or the way basketball is now. And then it was football, and I'm just kind of over the way football is played now. This is the first year where I didn't watch a single game, not even college. And I mean, from working with me at the store, I love college football, and
Right.
I'll watch any college football. And I did not watch a single game this year. I don't know if I'm finally burnt out on football right now, and I just need a break or what. But this year was just not a year for me for football, either pro or college or anything. So yeah, I had no interest in the Super Bowl at all, not
I
even for
was
the commercials.
surprised to hear that you didn't watch it because like you said, at the store. I personally, I don't like football. I played football in high school. Growing up, I was all into football, and then Richard and I, we in junior high,
Yeah.
Richard was playing high school. Um, we all have our own football experience. It being short guys, we love football. And then at the store, Richard had football on every Sunday. I hated working Sundays. Once I got out of the army, I kind of grew out of the jock sports era, except for like street hockey and skateboarding. But I always watched Super Bowl. Super Bowl is always important because that's where all my friends would go, and I loved watching Super Bowl. And my wife continued it. My wife and I continued it here. My wife loves sports. We watch
Yeah,
football.
you're
She
right.
watches
Your wife is
football.
a football fan, right?
Yeah, she's a big Chicago fan. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, New York Giants and the Bears. She loves them. Um, so I was so glad when they didn't end up in the Super Bowl. But anyway, we didn't watch it this year. She watched it. I didn't care. For me
Yeah.
personally, it was too much politics, and I needed a break. I
You know
wanted
what?
to.
There was a lot of politics. There was a lot of other stuff that wasn't football going on
Yeah.
in football this year. Maybe that's what kind of got me away from it. I mean, it wasn't really going on in college, so I don't know what kept me from doing that. But yeah, I mean, in professional football, there was a lot of, and I'm over the whole political.
Look,
I'm sick. I'm
it's
sick of
one
hearing about
thing.
other people's politics.
It's one thing if you're. It's one thing to have that crosstown rivalry or have that opposite team rivalry
Right.
with the football teams. That's fine. That's one thing. We all do that. That's cool. But somehow now you're injecting politics into it. Now you're injecting belief systems and life rights and all this other crap into a football game, which is, dude, let
My
the players
my problem.
game. You know,
My problem. Another thing that I have a problem with, and I still love hockey. Hockey is the only thing I watch with any regularity. Really, my problem with what sports has become, and it's similar to what politics has become. Even though we don't like to talk about politics, we somehow end up doing it. Um, it used to be you can just disagree on things
right?
and be like, I like this team, I like this. I don't like your team, or your team sucks, ha ha ha. But
Right.
now we get to the point where people are fighting and hurting each other over. It's a game that, number one, millionaires are playing for billionaires, and you're not getting any of that money.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're just happen
And
to be in on the betting circle. Yeah.
right, I mean, it's ridiculous, and I just can't. It really just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's like I said, well, it used to be you had political differences, and you're just like, well, this is why I don't like this, or this is why I don't agree with this, and you used to be able to have a conversation, and now it's way too much. It's
It's
just way too much.
permeated into everything that we do in our life, and I'm
It
getting
has
tired. I just wanted to watch a football game,
right.
and if it had just been the Super Bowl, just be the Super Bowl with, yeah, the occasional cool commercials and stuff and the game going on, then I would have really enjoyed that. That kind of pressure is cool. I'll watch it. It makes my one game a year enjoyable. But if I'm just gonna watch the news on a game while the game is happening, then I don't want to feel that pressure anymore. That's the it's like I watch wrestling. I do Transformers and blockies to get away from that stuff, and to have it crammed into this thing is just why would I want to partake in that anymore?
And the sad thing is exactly what we're talking about, or why I've become disgusted with the way sports are now and the way people react to it. That's the way wrestling is getting, and
Right.
it's really starting to weigh on me to the point where, like, there's a lot of content creators. I enjoy their shows and stuff. Like, I'll go online and watch it, and I just can't, because there's so much negativity in the comments and stuff like that. It's like, why aren't people just allowed to say, and also the way a lot of people respond to things. Like, if you don't like something, just say, "Hey, I don't like this." Don't say like, "This is horrible." Like, no, you don't like it. That doesn't mean other people don't, can't
Yeah.
enjoy it.
See, the problem nowadays is that people can't enjoy something without defending it.
Right.
Like if I like something, Richard, I like Optimus Prime, and you're like, well, I don't like Optimus Prime. Okay, cool. Instead of we can be like that instead of like, well, you're an idiot for not liking Optimus Prime, because that's when
Exactly.
that's when the problem happens, because Richard cannot like Optimus Prime. That doesn't mean he hates me. That doesn't
Right.
mean he doesn't like my opinion. That doesn't mean he doesn't respect me anymore and we're no longer friends. It just means he doesn't like Optimus Prime. He's a fucking Soundwave guy. You know,
Yeah.
like, it
And
just is
oddly
okay,
enough,
cool.
I am a Soundwave guy. But
We're still Transformers fans. We just don't like these particular characters.
and
That
that's
doesn't
that's a problem. That's a problem that we're getting to in a lot, is the tribalism. And it's
and the
I hope
defense
people
of that
realize,
tribal.
yeah, and yeah, it gets too much. And it
So
ruins things.
it does. But you know what it doesn't ruin is How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version, which is what was it one of the trailers that showed up during the Super Bowl that I had to wait to finish before watching. So let's go ahead and get started. We're done with 20 minutes of the bashing. Let's get back to being the Bash Brothers. Just kidding.
Like from Mighty Ducks or Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire.
Again, sports, Mighty Ducks. Obviously, I watched.
Well, Canseco and
I watched.
McGuire are baseball players.
I know, but I
Well,
watch. I watch scripted sports, not not live sports. No. I watch wrestling. I watch Mighty Ducks. Necessary Roughness. That's a great movie.
it is a great movie.
The Cowboy Way. We watched the Cowboy Way. I watched the Cowboy Way the other day, Richard.
I love that movie. That's the one
I
with
know.
Woody Harrelson and
Kiefer
uh,
Sutherland.
Stephen Sutherland. Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that movie. That's a great movie.
You know how I
When-
know, I know you love that movie?
huh?
Because I watched it on your Plex. I went looking
Yeah,
on my Plex and was like, I don't have it. Oh, but Richard does.
I
Oh, well,
watched
one of
it.
us have
I've watched
it.
it. I don't know how many times. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie.
So do I was surprisingly refreshed by how much I still like that movie. How much that movie is still cool, even though it's dated with its technology and stuff. The point's still
Right.
there. And Ernie Hudson riding around on a horse anytime just is awesome. Um,
And I
but
am not
moving,
the biggest Woody Harrelson fan. So,
uh, but moving back, we some of the trailers that came out during the Super Bowl that weren't politicized or made for obvious financial gain about their business was movie trailers. I only found like four of them, which I enjoyed. Superman was very noticeably absent in uh, in the Super Bowl, only having Nathan Fillion showing up during animated segments as Guy Gardner, saying that this is the only bowl I need. I need showing off his haircut and his costume and stuff. That was the only Superman promotion that they had going on during the Super Bowl. Otherwise, we had game spots, which we were expecting. Again, only four of which I was excited about. So I'm going to go ahead and share those with you, and then Richard and I can review and discuss them. So first up, we're going to talk about the live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. Their new trailer came on, so here we go. Look at Two Flares. He looks so cute just sitting there.
I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon.
First to ride one, though.
All right, bud, you ready? Come on! Here it goes!
How to Train Your Dragon, rated PG.
I'm happy. That looks awesome.
I know there was some debate about something about the dragon. Um, if you recall, I've said this many times, and I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks awesome. Like it looks like something I would enjoy watching. So I know there was like some debate, and like there's something that's wrong with the dragon. Like the dragon's, isn't it like crippled or something like that?
Yeah,
Or
he gets injured when he gets taken down, and he loses one of his fins.
okay,
And I don't want to give too much away, but
for a movie
that's
that's how many years old?
well, but you haven't seen it, and I don't want to ruin it for you.
It's not going to ruin it.
All right, for those of you who haven't seen it or don't have a child or childlike imagination, um, Toothless is the name of the dragon, is the black dragon that you see in the trailer. And when Hiccup captures him, he injures his fin, which controls how he turns and
Mhm.
dives. So Hiccup makes a contraption that allows him to turn and drive, but Hiccup has to ride him in order to control it. So that's what this movie's about. The rest of the movies that come out is, he eventually refines the wings where he doesn't need to ride them all the time and stuff like that. But this is
Okay.
how this friendship begins, and how they change Vikings' minds instead of how to kill them, but how to train them and work with them. But the original animated movie is one of my favorites, and I love it. I'm excited to see Dragons in live action version.
One of these
Anytime.
days, I'll watch the original. But that does look pretty awesome. Like even the CG and everything, like it doesn't look choppy, or like sometimes we'll get that, you get that choppy look with when things are
Right.
CG and stuff like that. Even with the new Fantastic, as much as I love the new Fantastic Four, like there is a little bit of choppiness to the thing. But then again, it's pretty. I mean, we don't know that's final production, and
Same with this, yeah.
it could also be screen filters. So
Right. And
either
connection
way,
speed,
he
whatever.
looks awesome. So, but yeah,
I'm excited.
that does look really cool.
Uh, so the next up, we have the new Jurassic World trailer. Um, Only coming in at a minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it going. Ready?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
We avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst. We're left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
So, who has seen this movie before? Raise your hand.
You know what? I have seen a lot of criticism from a lot of people out there. Like it's another Jurassic Park. They're basically all the same. This is now what the third island.
Yeah, I want to say, well, fourth, right?
Is it? I think it's the. I don't know. I think it's the
Well,
third.
they
But
had the
anyway,
main one, they had the base of operations, and they had the new island. So then this has got to be another island where they kept
yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
right.
So
So
the
it's the third. So it's where they did the original research, and supposedly where they left the most dangerous
right.
of the dinosaurs, the ones they couldn't control or whatever. So there's a whole lot of they can go a billion different routes with this franchise and keep it going. Much like Fast and Furious, you can go into space apparently and on ice and stuff. Um, but the returning to an island is what seems to be what people are the most like. It's the same story basically, returning to a different island, and I get that, like, because we have, I mean, in their world, dinosaurs are actually with living people. Like they're out there,
Mhm.
So we could have them in inhabited places, in inhabited countries.
Which
So
we
there's
had in
stories,
the previous sequel.
right? So there's a bunch of other stories they can explore other than continually going to islands. So I understand that criticism, but with this one, I think they're trying to go back to that, similar to what Alien Romulus did. They're trying to go back to that thriller horror feel to it. So, I mean, it's another Jurassic Park movie. Uh, Dinosaurs sell toys. Kids love dinosaurs. People are
I
gonna
love
people are gonna end up
dinosaurs.
watching the movie. I'm not disappointed, nor am I super excited about it. I'm intrigued though. I'm intrigued to see, like, if they can make it that thriller, almost horror esque that you had in the first one, and we haven't seen since.
I am. It's dinosaurs on screen. I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and a lot of the trailers I've seen have shown the Ankylosaurus, which is my favorite dinosaur. So
And
I'm gonna go see
the
that.
CG has come up, a billion, is
Right.
so much more advanced than it was originally. So, I
I
mean,
don't. I These are one of those things. It's like Godzilla. Okay, -1 was the first time I cared about the story in
right.
Godzilla. Otherwise, who cares about the people? It's all about the monster. And so with Jurassic Park, they tried to integrate us caring about both, but it's always been one-sided, in my opinion. Um, I would love to get a Jurassic Park where humans are just a side story and it's all about the monsters and the dinosaurs roaming. But I'm
I
not
I,
going to get.
I joked around that I want to see a Jurassic Park from the dinosaurs' point of view.
Yeah, show me a day in the life of a raptor, and I'll be happy. But
What was
um,
that? What was that penguin movie that came out? Remember that
oh,
penguin movie that came out? That was like,
the dancing one,
no,
or
no,
March of the
no. I
Penguins.
think I think it was the March of the Penguins, the one where
Yeah,
it should have just been a documentary, but it wasn't.
yeah,
Like, you're
yeah.
just seeing penguins live. Like, that would be kind of cool to see with dinosaurs.
Like Sam Crow and the barbecue day.
Yes,
Give me a Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs are just hanging out and eating, chilling.
yeah. I mean,
I want to see Mama Dinosaur going, why are these humans back? Damn. Dang, can't I just have some kids and live my
I'm sure.
life?
I'm sure. You know what? Maybe you ever think maybe these dinosaurs aren't that violent? They're just sick of seeing people.
Right? Like, oh, they're reacting to us like we react to rats.
Right.
The next
Like I
trailer
said,
that came out, huh?
I'm not super excited, but I'm not super against it. Like, I will definitely see it. It's
Right,
dinosaurs on screen.
right. Whatever happens, we'll see it. There you go. The next trailer that came out is one that has been highly anticipated, even though Super Bowl started out with a message from Brad Pitt begging everybody to love everybody else and a message of peace and hope. He then showed up at some point in time, my understanding, and showed this trailer, which is for his new movie that's coming out called F1, and showing the life of a Formula One race car driver. So um, let's hope he's not shooting bullets in space and see what happens. Here we go. And there you have it. 30 seconds of intensity.
Yeah, well, I mean, racing movies, you're always going to get that. I mean, it's a racing movie. I'm going to see it. Once again, I mean,
Tell me you weren't. Tell me you weren't watching that and expected the car to fly up, hit a
yeah.
bridge, all of a sudden free jack. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. And you
That's
know
how
what?
old we are, guys. We saw the movie Free Jack.
I'm sure this movie is going to get a bunch of promotion coming up because the next big sports event is the Indy 500.
Yeah.
So you're going to see, the Formula One racing. So that's going to be throwing off. But I mean, it's a racing movie. I'm going to end up seeing it. So I'd never heard about it before, but I mean, it looks intriguing.
I've been not following it so much as it shows up every now and then in my news feed, and I've been keeping up on it and watching all the stuff going on, the intensity, and how they're trying to keep it as super secret as humanly possible. Um, I don't even know. Oh, the director is Joe Kaczynski. Um, yeah, I'm not even familiar with him. Though he did direct Tron Legacy, Oblivion, Only the Brave, Top Gun Maverick, Spiderhead, and
Okay.
he did the trailer, the commercial for Halo 3, and the Mad World commercial for Gears of War. So he's used
Okay.
to like action and intensity and stuff like
He
that.
does some good, like some of those commercials. I mean, the Mad World commercials were real good. The Halo 3 one, like yeah. All right.
Yes. And and he's also attached. Wow, I didn't even see that. He is attached to a couple of remakes, including Logan's Run, The Black Hole, and a possible episode of The Twilight Zone.
They're remaking Logan's Run.
Yeah, so all the boomers can finally die. I'm
Wow.
sorry. So
Wow.
the
All right.
millennials can understand what it was like for us to be millennial,
I I talk about movies that don't need a remake.
right? Well, if there's ever a movie that needs to show, besides Fahrenheit 451, that needs to exemplify how book burning and burning of the library and banning of certain books is bad, it's Logan's Run. Um, yeah, because they shoved all the libraries, and they shut all that stuff down too in history.
You're assuming people still read.
I know. I know. I ask too
Honestly,
much of a society.
but truthfully, we're the thing about it, and the amazing thing about it that seems to get missed when it comes to, and I don't agree with book burning or banning books at all. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in censorship at all. Um, Other than keeping children from seeing lewd things, you know. Um, but we live in an age where it doesn't matter if those books are banned or burned, um, because you can still get them. The
Yeah,
amazing thing about tablets and
the
the
interweb.
interweb.
And finally, the trailer I know Richard is excited for, and I'm excited for, honestly. Especially once I saw the trailer, I I I stupidly occasionally sometimes read forums, and I have been all over forums answering questions that people have in concern of uh, this trailer. And you'll understand more once we watch the trailer, and then we can discuss it. And I'm going to warn all of you guys now. After the trailer, there's going to be some heavy spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about the Thunderbolts in general, especially their comic book
Oh.
origins, after the trailer, maybe step away. But Richard and I will probably get pretty deep into it, maybe even a little loud. So, um, here we go. Shall we? Press this button, and then I press that button. and then that button, and then I make that button happen. And then
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
There's some big threat out there, and you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
So none of us comply? So what, we all just punch and shoot?
I can't think of a worse group of people trying to work together.
Where are you?
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past. Hey, it's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit. You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
This has makings of team that can raise to glory. Bring light from the darkness. This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
Alexi, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Well, I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
there you go, Thunderbolts. Richard, I saw you smiling throughout the whole thing. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm excited, but where the hell was Bob?
You saw Bob.
Oh, was he in that one? I didn't. I must have missed him. Well, they showed everybody else's name. I didn't see Bob's.
That's because, and here we go. Well, first off, initial reactions. What did you think?
Oh, I am so excited for this. This is everything that I wanted, and that the Suicide Squad should have been.
And why is that? It's more of a buddy action comedy type thing.
It's an uncomfortable team. It's funny. It's very uncomfortable. But when they need to get together and be heroic, at least so far as we've seen in the trailers, they managed to pull it off.
Right.
You know. Now, granted, I mean it's a bunch of anti-heroes and maybe a villain, and or maybe two villains, possibly three. If you count Bucky,
well, they're all anti-heroes. How's that?
right? As opposed to Suicide Squad, which were all villains. But
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's fun. It looks fun. Even the trailers are fun to me.
Yeah, I'm totally in love with this movie already. I'm down for it. Now here we go. We're gonna nitpick and spoiler talk, and Easter egg talk here. So let's start. Bob is floating around in the trailer. Bob is the Sentry and
Right.
his alter
Right.
ego, the Void, who you saw
Correct.
throughout the trailer. He's the big bad. He's the Void.
He's the Void, right?
At the beginning of the trailer, you see him dispersing people, turning them into burn marks and ash marks on the ground. And toward the end, you see everybody walking into the darkness. That's them walking into the Void to fight him to bring back the Sentry. Because the Sentry is the only one that can defeat the Void. So when you ask where's Bob, well, he's all over the place in that. He's
Well, I
but
was
he's just
actually looking for there in the first trailer. They actually introduced
yeah, you
like
just
him
saw
as
Bob
Bob.
like but that's why I keep telling everybody in the forums and stuff like the Void is the Sentry. It's just his
Right.
alter ego,
Yeah,
and
I know that.
right. And I'm just saying for the audience and everything, we're gonna see that all over. We'll be exposed to that in the movie, and I'm guessing that somehow the whole mind wiping thing that Bob and the Sentry had done, where they were erased from the history of superhero ness from the Marvel universe, uh, and eventually brought back. Like when the Sentry was introduced into the Marvel universe, everybody's memories came back of all the amazing deeds he did during the time of when Fantastic Four first became prominent to current times. And find out that his alter ego, the Void, had murdered and killed millions of people, and just went on a rampage. And Bob had to shut him down and shove his alter ego back in the corner of his mind, and in doing so, had to shove the Sentry down as well. And Reed
Right.
Richards and the Illuminati got together and erased the memory of the Sentry and the Void from all humanity.
Right.
So I'm curious if that's going to play in at all with the Thunderbolts, and if we're going to see that as a reboot of the Marvel universe, where we get the Fantastic Four universe coming in. So you remember I was talking about how the Fantastic Four is showing about the new colors and the technology and the
Right.
Fantastic universe that they affect, when they came back. That's why I'm wondering with the Thunderbolts coming out and this happening, if Fantastic Four First Steps is more of a memory coming back as opposed to a new branch of storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I may be thinking too far into it. I may be DCing everything, so who
Are
knows?
there? Here's the thing, though. Considering how vast the teams have been throughout the years, um, is there any chance, even a minute chance, that the new Captain America kind of bleeds into this? I mean, because the Red Hulk was on the Thunderbolts,
Yeah, Norman Osborn ran the Thunderbolts for a while too.
right?
That would be
If you think of the vast team members that you've had throughout the year, I mean, it's usually like a weird theme around the team
yeah,
because the last team that they put together was almost like this team that's in this movie. It's
right.
basically their espionage team, ran by Bucky, but you had what Black Widow, Sharon Carter, Red Guardian, U.S. Agent,
Did you say
uh,
Sean Carter?
Sharon,
No. I was like, Buddha's in this?
and what White Widow was in there. Was that it? I think that was it.
Dakin.
So yeah, so I mean, it's similar to that team that we're getting in this movie, but
Yeah.
you've had what Deadpool's been a member, Elektra's been a member. Hell, wasn't there a time where even the Punisher was a member?
If I think that was the Defenders, but you might be right. It could be. You might be right on that one.
I think he was. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there was a time the Punisher was,
The
or maybe
problem
he
is,
was.
like currently, I don't know about you. I haven't read any new comic books in the past 10 years. I'm currently rectifying that
I
situation by renewing my
I do
subscription to Marvel so I can
I
get
do
into it.
depending on the title and obviously the writers and the characters. But Thunderbolts is one of those things I've always been a fan of because it's always been anti-heroes.
Right.
Whatever theme it was, whether it's espionage or mercs or whatever it is, they're always anti-heroes, and who doesn't love a good anti-hero? And this is
I,
just like I said, it's fun.
right. It's fun, mindless violence, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
with witty comments and stuff all at the same time, and that's literally me. Me and most of my friends. We all just sit there and talk shit and do stupid
and
things.
and
So,
and I so the Red Guardian is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel
same.
universe. And so is the U.S. agent. I was a big fan when he was Super Patriot and was a villain and stuff like. He used to look like Sting. And then, but I never watched, or I still haven't watched. What was it? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. No, is that what he was in?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Captain America in that, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen how this guy does as John Walker, but like he's one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe too. So
I liked him as John Walker, and
if he's got that, like, because that's the thing, is he's another one that's very sarcastic, very dry humor in the comics. So if that comes off,
I think it comes out, and the cockiness also comes out. That little walk he does and everything, he's got it. And even like the depression side, the only thing he doesn't have is like the addiction to the super juice bug. Remember how he used to juice up all the time?
the super soldier forum, the formula that like goes away. He's basically Bane.
yeah, basically.
It's steroids.
Exactly, juicing. But did you notice his shield in the trailer?
Yes.
How it was bent around his arm?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited for the movie. I'm amped. Yeah.
So is that, because like I said, I've never seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Is he's Kurt Russell's son?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And if you want to see them together, you should watch Monarch, because they're great in Monarch, because he plays Kurt Russell's character younger when they first encounter Godzilla, and then Kurt Russell plays him as older in present times. So it's awesome to see.
I think I only watched the first episode of Monarch, because that was wasn't it a Apple TV show?
Yeah, Apple TV show. It's on my Plex if you want to watch it. It's available.
I think it's on my Plex too. I just haven't watched them.
It's a great show. The first season deals with Godzilla. The second season was renewed, and now they're dealing with King Kong on this one.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I'll definitely have to watch
it. Deals with the history of Godzilla and in the past, and then the present, them searching for all the other monsters and stuff that comes out there and them encountering it. This one is going to deal with King Kong and all the monsters they deal with on Skull Island, as well as any of his other surrounding monsters that his arch nemesis and stuff that he would deal with, like Gigan and all them. So we'll get to see that, and then eventually we'll get to the Hollow Earth and deal with all that too. So I'm excited, and they're doing a great job on Monarch, man. It's too much human story once again, but they make it intriguing enough where you want to pay attention. Not as good as -1, but good still.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
So I went and saw Companion.
I am intrigued by that. How was it?
If you've seen Ex Machina,
yes,
that's a better version. There's so many movies where I built this sex bot. I have a sex bot, and now she's on a murdering spree out there. Megan. What was that other one we had just seen?
I don't think Megan was a sex bot. Let's not make this weird.
Hey, I'm not questioning anybody's fetishes. That's not what I'm here to do.
I'm definitely questioning that fetish.
I'm just saying, okay, it also falls in line with the whole AI over excessive thing, like
right.
The taking something literal, like love your boyfriend or love this person to the utmost extreme.
To the extremes, yeah.
And so that's what Megan did. That's what this does. That's what all the other AI movies do. And so you're not getting anything different here. However, and I'm not, okay, like I've been saying this for years, and I've said this to Richard for years. I miss the old school horror movies where you got the nudity and violence and all that stuff here, especially when it made sense. Okay. I don't see how a movie about a sex bot doesn't show any nudity or any sex happening. That doesn't make sense to me. Like it implies, it alludes to, but it doesn't actually show anything. Instead, it shows, I don't know what it shows. It just, I don't know. It's more of a lighthearted movie than anything. It's more fun, more sarcastic, uh more of
Tongue in
a
cheek.
more of a yeah, more of a sharp wit type of look at it, and yeah. I didn't hate it, but I'd seen it before. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just shit. So
No, I mean, my problem with the fact that because technically this is supposed to be a horror movie or a thriller.
right,
And
or
my
a
biggest
thriller,
problem
and
with horror movies or thrillers nowadays is they're just not.
you're right. Yeah, we've had that discussion here too many times where horror movies get misclassified as thriller movies.
Yeah.
This was more of a dark comedy. I don't even know why it was classified as a horror movie. It didn't even
Yeah,
show
that's
any of the killing.
see, I don't get, like, that's weird. Like,
It showed like the after effects. You see the robot covered in blood. You see it make the actions toward the killing, but you don't actually see penetration, puncturing, tearing, anything bad like that. You don't see, like there's no visceralness into it or any of the actions happening. It's just illusions into it, and it's more a thriller and like I said, it's dark comedy than anything. And even the dark comedy movies that I've seen before are more gritty than this. You know? This was like a TV movie, in my opinion. It could have been a TV movie. It could be on ABC.
so who was it made by?
It was made by the guy that made it hadn't made a movie before, and he wrote it and couldn't find anybody to direct it, so he decided to direct it himself, and then somehow found funding for it. And it's all independently funded. The main actress is in uh, Yellow Jackets, and then Jack Quaid, who is in The Boys. He plays Huey in The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a couple of actors that aren't super mainstream that I hadn't seen before. So
What's Yellow Jackets?
Yellow Jackets is another show.
That
I mean,
sounds
another
familiar.
podcast. Yellow Jackets is an awesome show. I don't remember what channel it's on, but it's about. So imagine the Andes soccer players that
Okay. Okay, it's the one with a bunch of girls and it's very kind of Lord of the Flies kind of
right
okay, okay.
now, and it's in current times, and there's like a mystery going on, so they have to flash back and figure out what from their cannibalistic, animal ways that they did when they were trapped is
Okay,
affecting them.
yeah, I'd heard about it, but never seen it. Isn't like the new season's going to be starting soon?
Yeah, I believe the season 3 starting soon. I watched season 1, I liked it, but not enough for season 2. Uh, Not that I mean, it's not bad, it's just, Richard, we have a lot on our plates. And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes you
A
have to
lot of
make that
a lot of things
sacrifice
I
when
only
you're doing.
watched one season of.
Yeah, it's not bad, I just don't have time for the season 2. It wasn't good enough to make me watch season 2 over all the other stuff that we have to watch? So, yeah,
Well,
so there you go,
like me
companion.
currently going through ER where I'm on season 5 right now.
Me
It only
on
took
Chicago
it only took
Fire.
what 30 years.
I'm on season 11 of Chicago Fire, so, yeah. So yeah, companion. I mean, I think the kids will enjoy it. Uh, I just yeah.
Not for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't bad. I've seen it before. Justin enjoyed it. Um, but he's a family man, so maybe it's more on his speed, but I don't know. Go check it out for yourselves, guys. Let me know what you think. I don't think you should pay money for it, honestly. I think maybe streaming would be a good option for you. Um, or a date night that might be a good laugh, but when you Eh, Richard, what else are we talking about today?
What else were we talking about?
You
Oh,
know,
Invincible,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So first three episodes of season 3 came out. When you're going to the movies and you're missing the violence, man, just throw on Invincible. It's all right there. You want to get caught up on that carnage, man.
Which is what I did. We came home and we watched Invincible right after.
Holy smoke. Um this I mean, they've all been all 3 seasons have been well, the 2 previous seasons have been ultra violent. Like they're I mean, just much like the comics. There's a lot of violence, a lot of like they're real bloody fights. It's the language, strong language, everything, but something about just those 3 episodes, the violence seems more brutal. Like it's just, oh man. I don't really want to give anything away, but some of these scenes, man, oh, whew, that third episode, man, wow.
But did
Yeah.
you like it?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I've loved the first 2 seasons. It's yeah, actually, you're the one that turned me on to the comic book way back. I mean, it's it's just it's so different from anything else when the way superhero stories are told. You know, much like The Boys is a different way to tell a superhero story. But
Right.
this is I mean, The Boys comics are pretty.
Well,
But yeah,
they
it's
lean
just
more sexually.
yeah, a lot more sexually. But like the pure brutality of this, and for them not to skip a beat on the brutality in the show is just like Prime is like, I don't care. Like,
Prime's like, it's animated. I don't care.
yeah.
It's just full red. Draw as much of it as you like.
It's up there where a lot of people have said, like with their animated shows, a lot of people want to see similar to like the old HBO Spawn series. And this is right up there. Like this is actually way more violent, but it's got that darkness to it. It's got humor to it. Like it's just like it's a darn good show, man. Like I mean,
It does a great job of questioning your values and your morals, I think.
right.
In presenting them in ways where you're just like, what would I do in that situation? And are they justified with their actions? Like, how would I react? A lot of times, and what would I do with that stuff?
Yeah.
Adam Eve right now is one of the most powerful beings in that universe, and that she controls every atom out there. And I have no idea what I would do that with that power. But in this season, she decides to go back to college to learn architecture and engineering so she can better help the environment and the world with her powers.
I 100% would be a villain.
Yeah, same. I would just make money. Literally.
I would just be a villain. I would be a sarcastic villain. I wouldn't do like murderous, like be on this murderous rampage. I would just do cruel, messed up pranks to people.
I would literally just be called Sarcastro.
Right?
Yeah. And I would just walk around to people that act entitled or snuck up and snobby and just be a complete asshole to them, or strip them naked and walk away and let them try to get home. You want to humble somebody, strip them naked and tell them to get home.
Right?
But I can't agree with you more. This season, Invincible does a really good job of grabbing you and pulling you in a comfortably uncomfortable way.
Right.
In that you don't want to be comfortable with the violence and everything, but somehow it's like a warm blanket that you can just wrap around you, like, shit, Invincible's home and so am I. You know? And the storylines that they're presenting this season is very compelling too.
Yeah.
Because in and this isn't giving it away. We saw it at the end of the last season. Mark comes home with his brother,
Right.
and now we're dealing with Mark learning to deal with his brother and his showing up with powers and responsibilities and immaturities and choices and stuff like that. Which
And
was
boy,
always
that kid
really,
is something else.
from choosing what superhero name he wants to go under to the actions he takes while being a superhero and trying to
I mean,
relearn everything, but at a younger age than Mark had to. It's
isn't it hard to choose your superhero name, man?
right. I just did Sarcastro. What are you gonna do? Or
Sounds
as
like
you call it,
it sounds like you'd be walking around with a cape.
no capes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be walking around with a leotard either. Well, you know what? If I had Adam Eve's powers, I would, because what I had, I'd be showing off. So, um, moving on. It would also be invincible. I'm just saying. But anyway, uh this season I'm 3 episodes I'm totally enjoying. I hate that I have to wait weekly for it. Watching Rex Explode mature in this season is also like whoa. Um, but I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait for the rest of it to come out.
yeah. Well, you know what's weird? Weird is this is the first time in I don't know how long where there are actually multiple shows that I am watching week to week. Well, one of them just ended, but we're actually like, because I'm one of those guys is like, which is
Yeah.
why I end up forgetting things and never watching them, is because I wait for it to end and then I'll just binge stream it.
Same.
You
I'm
know,
the same way. I'm
and,
impatient as heck. I like to watch it all at
yeah.
once.
Instead of watching it week to week, I just do that all the time. But like that, I was the same way with the Pit, which is an amazing show.
And I just found out it wasn't over.
They even though they stole my idea of stealing the idea from 24. I was gonna originally steal the idea, but then they stole the idea before I stole it. So kudos to them on that.
You can still steal it, with Forbidden Panel. It'll take us 10 years to release it.
Right.
By the time we release it, there'll be no such thing as the Pit, or we'll be finally on episode 2, which will be like day 1 still.
But there's multiple shows out there that I'm actually really kind of into at this point, and that's, like I said, that's pretty rare.
Which shows would that be?
There's another one, I believe it is on I think it's CBS show. It's called Doc. It's about this
the girl, she loses her memory and then comes back
right.
and tries
She
to
loses like an 8-year block of memory. It's actually I mean, so it's not as intriguing of a show. Like it's not. I mean, there is some suspense to it and everything like that, but it's just very well written. And I love a show that's well written and it like hooks me. It's
Right.
it's a show that I've been enjoying actually since it came out. The other one only has one freaking episode, and I'm like, when is the second episode ever going to come out? Hunting Party.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I haven't watched it.
There's only one episode. It came out in freaking. When did it come out? It came out over a month. It came out January 19th.
The Pit was like that. It only had the 2 episodes for a good month, and it was just like.
I think because it's on NBC, so it conflicted with the NFL playoffs. like the Grammys, a bunch of other stuff like that. So
Right.
maybe now that the Super Bowl's over, we'll start. And that's what usually happens. Is usually you'll get some like 1 or 2 episodes of a show, and then once the playoffs and everything for the NFL are over, that's when shows kick back on. So
Until March, and then March Madness starts, and we don't get anything for a while.
but that show is it's a cool show. It's got a cool. It's almost like a superhero-esque story to it, but no superheroes or villains. Like what it is so it's about like a FBI profiler. She gets brought back into the FBI to hunt down some prisoners that escaped, and they escaped this. It was a former nuclear missile silo that they turned into a maximum security prison that is an off the books black ops maximum security prison ran by the CIA. So there's a whole lot of black stuff that are going on in there. And she turns, and she's the first episode, the only episode that's come out, is she's hunting a serial killer that everybody thought was executed. And then as the story goes on, you find out like this maximum security prison is like full of these types of prisoners, like basically the worst of the worst.
Right, like the Raft.
Right, and they escaped. So, and you have a team of 3 people hunting them down. That's the part that's a little ridiculous because they don't want to let the public know that these people are out there. So it's completely in the shadows, but it's good storytelling. And, I'm just disappointed there's only 1 episode.
I'm disappointed they stole my idea, but okay.
Now you know how I feel. I mean, they didn't steal my idea. My idea wasn't stolen, just the timeline, the way that the story's told was stolen from me. So,
well, for me, I'm not going to tell you what my idea is online.
Right.
Off the air, we'll talk. But I won't tell you what my idea was. It's awesome. It's my magnum opus, but it kind of revolves around the same thing. But I wanted to watch that, and I came across it the other day. I was thinking about starting it. I'm glad you told me it's only 1 episode because I'd have been really disappointed.
Yeah, it's on NBC. It's on Peacock. So hopefully, I'm hoping that actually I should look that up. I'm hoping it returns soon because I'm just like, it's really annoying.
So there you have it, folks. We reviewed more than you thought we would in this episode.
Yeah.
Super Bowl trailers, Invincible, TV shows. We're just everywhere. We got a lot to talk about.
Apparently episode 2 is supposed to air today. So yeah, apparently it was the NFL playoffs. But yeah, episode 2 should be airing tonight. Awesome. So I guess that's in the show I'll be watching week to week. Actually, I won't be watching it till tomorrow because I believe that's when it comes on Peacock. Or does Peacock show them live? I don't remember.
Yeah, Peacock does live, I believe.
Okay, so maybe I'll probably just watch it on Peacock. But yeah, so there's that.
On the next episode of the PanelCast, we'll review episode 2. Yeah, so this week we have Captain America, Brave New World coming out in the theaters. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the theaters and share our thoughts. Any expectations for the film, Richard? I know you were at one point super excited for it. Has that excitement waned?
So it's my excitement is gone now. I was excited when they put out the last trailers that we're getting, which makes it look like kind of like an espionage-esque movie, where they dip more into that. But everything that I've been reading and hearing is that's nothing what the movie's like. And I hear that it's got those hard breaks and chops in it, kind of like Craven, where like you're watching the movie and there's a scene and you're like, well, this is obviously part of a different movie, you know? And, but then again, that's some people's opinion. So who knows? I'm still hopeful. Hopefully they can pull out at least a decent movie. I don't see how I don't see them not scrapping it if it was that bad, you know?
Right.
I like if it's that horrible and really like if they really have no faith in it, Disney doesn't have a problem scrapping a movie, you know? So no, and it really doesn't matter what they spend on it, like because not like Disney owns freaking half the planet. So,
You know, I went back and I rewatched The Marvels, which apparently is like one of their best, worst rated films. I didn't mind it actually on the second viewing. I thought the Flirk in Apocalypse was awesome. It's
I
not a
never,
great, it's not one of the best movies that they put out, but it's not horrible. I mean,
I've never seen the Marvels, strictly
Fine.
because I heard so much bad stuff about it. You know,
It's got plot holes up the wazoo, but you know, it's not a bad movie. So
that's my
I don't
thing.
know.
See, that's the thing is, and I think people don't disassociate enough like we do, where they don't think like the comic book universe and the movie universe are two completely different entities. You
Right.
know, what you get in a comic book movie is not going to be a comic book. You know, you're not going to get comic book accurate because they're trying to bring in a new audience. They're trying to bring in new fans. You know, so you're not going to get anything that's that, you know, accurate. They're gonna take some bold choices. They're gonna reach out trying to attract new audiences. So
Well,
I'm
let me ask
hopeful.
you. Go ahead.
I'm hopeful that it's entertaining.
Let me ask you a quick question. There's a rumor floating around right now that's really big, and there's been lots of comments on it, and it's only a rumor right now. But I want to ask your opinion on your thoughts on this. Denzel as Magneto.
Um, hmm, it's intriguing. I would. I mean, it's Denzel. The man crushes any role he's given.
Right.
So, the question would be, how would you rewrite his story? Regardless, at this point in history, Magneto's story needs to be rewritten anyway,
It needs to be
because
solidified because
well,
everything is so all over the
it
place.
it needs to, no, I mean in general, like from the comic book origins, Magneto's story needs to be changed because you know he'd be 90 some odd years old.
Well, you
Yeah.
forget that in issue 130 or something like that, the original X-Men, he was reverted to a child and had to grow back up.
Right, but you can. I mean, unless you're going to bring that into canon, you know. I mean, it's just
And
I
then
would
with
I don't
Zoe
know.
carrying his spirit, and
Right,
then with Joseph being his younger clone, Nate Gray, all that stuff. Yeah, Magneto is everywhere. First, he's the father of
right.
Pietro and Wanda. Now he's not because they're not mutants anymore. And yeah, they need
Yeah,
to clear.
it's so all over the place. But I mean, here's the thing though. If we get Denzel as Magneto, is he going to consistently be? Like that's the thing is, if we're going to get somebody, I want somebody that's going to consistently be Magneto for X amount of films. Basically, every film Magneto's going to appear in from then, not just do a one shot to just boost ticket sales.
Here's the rumor. He's going to show up in the next Black Panther, and because if he's ruling Genosha or whatever island he's running,
Right.
he would show up on a council somewhere to talk to them, Wakanda, about treaties and all that shit. So he's supposed to show up in Wakanda in the next Black Panther movie, and then in an X-Men film afterwards. So that's the rumor we're getting. I did a little bit of background just to make sure I knew where I was talking from, so I wasn't talking out of my ass. But in Germany during World War II, there are plenty of black concentration camps for Black Jews or Black people in general, because Nazis hated them as much as they hated Jews. You just
Absolutely,
don't see it
100%.
publicized as much as the Jewish Holocaust, because
100%. Well, I mean, Jews, homosexuals,
anybody they
freaking,
hated just as much.
you can go down the list. Yeah,
So they can have Magneto come off as a black person and have his own German Holocaust story as his origin story, is still keep it that way to be this point.
Once again, like I said, unless you're going to bring into canon the fact that he's been reborn, you can get rid of the German Holocaust because he'd be 90 some odd years old.
But you don't know mutant power is also supposed to retard aging.
But there's also, let's not forget, I mean, throughout history, there are a ton of horrible atrocities that he could have gone through.
Right. And that he committed.
Even currently. So, I mean, you can fit that into modern times. Sadly, you can fit it in modern times with no problem. I don't have a problem, and I have a problem with race swapping characters when it's done just to appease audiences. When it's done for the art, or when it's done as part of the story or whatever it is, then I don't care. It is what it is.
Right.
As we talked in the last episode about why can't I remember the name of the movie? The Stephen King book, the movie with Shawshank Redemption. I mean, there was a straight up from the book to the movie. There's a straight up race swap right there. No one ever talks about that, because it's not a big deal.
Because it didn't matter, because he still kept the true format and love and personality of the character.
He kept true to the character.
Honestly.
He does. There is a line, and I watched it again, and there is a line even in the movie when he asks him, "Why do they call you Red?" And he's like, "Because I'm Irish."
Right.
So,
maybe it's because I'm Irish.
But so when it's like that, and you stay true to the character, who cares what color they are?
Right.
Unless
you're literally writing a verbatim copy of the book, and even then, there's still some artistic license.
Right.
But at some point, everybody's got to realize we're not dealing with verbatim copies of the books. We're dealing with alternate versions of these characters and storylines. Like, there's literally multiverses of these things, and that's what you're dealing with. That's why you never get the same character. That's why Hugh Jackman is 6'3" and Wolverine is 5'3". It just doesn't work sometimes.
Come on, comic book accurate Wolverine was pretty dope, though.
Was great. But David Hasselhoff Nick Fury was kind of Whereas Sammy Jackson Nick Fury is the shit.
Right.
So 100%. We are running short on time. I do have one last question I want to ask you real quick. The Critics' Choice Awards were also this past weekend. Best animation went to X-Men 97 over the new Batman. Do you think, I personally think that would have been a very hard category to judge. What are your opinions?
It's a tough category, but I think it went to the right one, though. I do. It's very, very close, but I just think, and I think a lot of it has to do with the nostalgia that the X-Men kicks up to, that brings into it. So
I'd almost have to agree with you, where Batman was wonderful and beautiful and gorgeous, and I was loving everything I saw about it. X-Men 97 kept us talking.
Right.
Whereas Batman, we watched it kind of alone. We talked about it occasionally. X-Men, we were texting, we were talking, we were excited. I mean, it took up a majority of our shows where we were
I've
discussing it one way or
watched the
another.
series 3 times.
And so I've got to say, just on audience participation alone, just on the fact that Richard and I and the other guys just loved talking about it and what it brought up in our memories, I'd have to go with X-Men 97. But I would not have liked to have been in that voting room.
Oh
That
yeah,
would have been an argument and a discussion where we would have been fighting left and right all day long, in my
yeah.
opinion.
That's a tough decision.
It is. All right, guys. So we're wrapping up now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Episode 248 of the PanelCast. Reminder, please check out all of our sites, our websites. Richard's so busy. He's all over the place on the internet. Can barely find him. Just follow traces of gingerbread crumbs all over the place. They're from his hair, I promise you. I am AJ. I'm on Forbidden Panel. And yeah, Richard thinks I'm wearing a new hat. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
I don't. You must have shined your head up. I don't know what it is.
Spit polished my forehead.
I think you did.
Just for you, Richard. Just for you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll catch you later.
BraunGraphics.com. It's your one-stop shopping for all things Geo Braun. That's yours truly. I'm happy to share them with you. Everything from my graphic novels, both series, The Angel Codex, which is my latest, and as well, my original series, The Untold Chronicles. You also see all kinds of pinup art that I've done over the years, and I'm talking all kinds of pinup art. So check out BraunGraphics.com. I'll be happy that you did.